Hi everyone, let's make some herbal honey together. First we're going to walk to our honey shop. I'm very lucky, I have a local honey shop here. He's actually a beekeeper. He sells his own honey as a family business. He also sells honey from all throughout the different parts of Japan, as well as the areas such as Ukraine, to support Ukraine. This day I bought the acacia honey, which is from Hokkaido, I believe. You can take your own jar and they fill it up. I'm also going to be using the Poatu Manuka honey, which is from my home country of New Zealand. And this is the acacia honey, which we just bought. We're going to have fresh herbs. This one is rosemary from my own garden. I just did about halfway full for fresh herbs. And for dried herbs, we have some dried rose petals from last summer. Dried herbs, we use a quarter to halfway full of the jar. We're going to pour in our honey now and let it seep all the way down to the bottom, giving a stir as we go, making sure that the herbs are covered, and we're just going to let it sit aside for a moment before topping up. Then with the rose petals, because they're dry, they will actually absorb a lot of the honey. So this takes a little bit of time and patience. We need to give it a stir. As you can see, it's absorbing a lot of the honey there. And we're just going to do that. Just keep stirring and adding honey as the level of the honey will go down as the petals absorb the honey. And then when it's all about done, we're going to top up right up to the top. Another honey which I wanted to do was dried burdock and dried orange together. The reason is because they're both very good for our digestion. Here we're just going to give the burdock root a quick wash. We don't peel burdock root because a lot of the benefits are actually in the outer rim of the skin. So we just give it a wash just to get off the dirt. And here you can see the washed one versus the dirty one. You can cut it either way by usual slices. You can see the outer layer there. Or sasagiri, which is like doing wood chips. Either way is totally fine, it's just your personal preference. I just wanted to show you how we cut burdock typically in Japan. My Japanese mother-in-law actually taught me how to do this. It was a bit scary in the beginning, but yeah, like wood chips. And we're going to dry them, air dry them until they're brittle. A couple of days. And also the same with the mandarin skins, a couple of days until they're dry. Once they're dry, we're going to use our honey. I'm using the Manuka honey. It's a lot thicker than usual honey, as you can see, but it has a lot of benefits for the digestive health, and so that pairs perfectly with the woody taste of the burdock and the citrus taste. And we're going to cover it all up, and once they're all done, we're going to put on our lids, and I'm putting some waxed kitchen paper in between the mito lid and the honey. After a day, we can see how everything is looking, and we can see that the level of the honey has gone down and some of the herbs are exposed. So after a day of rest, what we're going to do is we're going to come back with more honey, give everything a stir, make sure it's absorbing the honey well, and top them all up again right up to the top with honey. And then we're going to store them away in a cool, dark, dry place for 2 weeks for the fresh herbs and up to a month or more for the dried herbs. And you can read more about how to do that in the caption below and by following us on Instagram at Green Fox Mama. But what do we do with our herbs after we've strained out our honey? We can see our beautiful pink honey, rose honey in the bowl, and then we've got this which is called the mark. It's the dried herbs or the leftover herbs. one of my most favorite ways is to add a big tablespoon of the rose petals with hot water to make a really fragrant cup of tea. Then after about 10 minutes of infusing, you can pour it out, as you can see here. And then what we're going to do, we'll have those petals left over, and I usually put them in the garden as a compost. And we can see the lovely colour of the tea here. It's like a beautiful pinky colour. But read more below and follow us for more information.